because it's a very narrow circuit at most parts, and it has that very long gravity tube at the end, which is rather difficult to maneuver well. But yeah, we are off here. Let's see how this goes.
This should be interesting.
Both looking like a solid start here. Not quite sync, but oh, there we go. Now we're getting the sync in. And it might look like Nfro has a slight lead right now. That is not entirely true though, because he used more heat, which in the end could swing around again. Because, oh, there we go. There we have the audio. Very nice. But yeah, they're neck and neck. This is really nice to see. I hope it stays this way. Nfro actually holding the cave boost and then losing it again. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, Mike's starting to pull ahead slightly, but both 103s.
Nfro is ahead right now. He is on less heat. And he had a lower lap run time. So if he can keep this up, that would be amazing.
Oh, he held that boost fling. That was actually something that I created back in the day, actually.
Yeah, very nice to see indeed. So for those who don't know, oh, there's the first crash, right? But that's kind of heartbreaking.
Ouch.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Mike is definitely the favorite here. But as you can tell, Nfro seems to have done his homework, so that crash is really unfortunate though. It's almost impossible to make that up without Mikey making a major mistake or crashing himself.
And he's the most consistent player in it. He had the lowest death rate of any racer in last year's tournament.
Mm-hmm. And I think in this year's tournament he hasn't died at all so far in the round robin.
102, 105, still pretty fast with a death.
Yeah, definitely. I would have thought the difference would have been slightly more. So if Mike has a major bonk somewhere here, Nfro could still make this up. But it's going to be really difficult. Because as you said, Mike is scarily consistent. He's really very consistent. And Nfro almost dying again at the same spot.
Yeah, that spot tends to kill you a lot more than any other part of the track often. Just hit it wrong and you just crash.
Yeah. Looking good for Mikey though. I don't think he will crash on this last part of the track. Really unfortunate because Nfro was actually really close here. And that's a 306 for Mikey.
306.59.
Nfro coming in with a 311. And that's a really good time with a death.
Definitely. Most players can't even get that deathless.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we could tell already that Nfro is going to put up a fight here. So let's see if we can take at least a track out of Mikey. But yeah, the players are now gonna permanently ban 2 tracks each for the rest of this set. After that, the loser of the previous track, so Nfro, will ban a pot. So yeah, let's see what they choose for their permanent bans here.
Mike's banning Executioner.
A grapevine gateway banned by Nfro here. Kinda sad to see. I love grapevine gateway, but I can understand why you would ban it.
Mikeyburger's banning Zugga.
He did that last race as well, and when I first saw it, I was surprised of him banning Zaga. But
and
I think
Nfro bans Fire Mountain Rally.
Yeah, and for getting rid of the arguably two most difficult tracks in the game. But yeah, I think the reason that Mikey is banning Zaga challenge is because of the skip. Because in this year's tournament, there is the possibility of skip races happening, and I really think Mike doesn't want to do the Zaga skip. That's my theory on why he's banning it. So yeah, Nfro is going to ban a Podracer now, and that ban is only going to be in effect for the next race, for the next track. Let's see who he chooses to ban. He's banning
Mars Whoa.
Interesting. So what do you think that would indicate banning Mars here?
Maybe forcing a skip or something, because Mars is just the king of skip reliability.
He is, yeah. Let's see what Mikey chooses to ban temporarily, and it's Inferno, not surprising. I think he has banned Inferno in every single match so far. And I think it's for the same reason he banned Saga. Oh, and that is a spicy pick here from Nfro. Starting off with Abyss, and he's forcing skips. So we're going to see Abyss done with skips. And for any of you who don't know how this looks, you're in for a treat. Because if you are one of the people that used to hate this track as a kid, then you should watch these two runners very closely right now, because they're gonna dismantle it.
Mike actually found it back in the day, and the skip is ridiculous.
It is, yes. It actually hasn't changed that much since 2008, which is funny to think about. Or when did he find it? 2010? I'm not quite sure.
I think he found it in like 2009, because that's when I had my records for the skip done.
I see. So yeah, over the course of a decade, the skip has stayed more or less the same, apart from a few small variations, but it's the same concept still. And it is gonna be over very quick, so don't blink. This is also one of the very few occasions we will see technically one of the worst pots in the game being utilized, because he has one stat, which is a hidden stat, which makes him really effective on this particular skip. So yeah, you see, Nfro already chose a run sandwich here, also called one sandwich. And he is really good at the skip because of the stat called hover height. Hover height basically makes you be able to climb up walls a little bit faster than having lower hover height. One has a very high hover height.
And also ISEC radius, which is your hitbox, that plays a role too.
Yeah, it does. But hover height is way more important here.
You think you're gonna beat Sebulba with that Podracer of yours?
Also, regarding King Beandip's comment, the death up there happens if you either steer too late or too early. Like you have to steer before you are at that edge or after you're at that edge. If you do it just as you approach that edge, you die like this, like you've just seen. Happened to me in Hando before twice in a row, and it was really frustrating. But luckily I figured out why it happened since then. We can see Nfro going for a practice run here, 27 seconds. It could be enough to beat Mike. We will see. We will see. So just waiting for the runners to get ready here. So the runners got the countdown. They should be off momentarily.
Let's see what happens with this skip, because this is such a ridiculously short skip.
It really is. As I said before, don't blink or you might miss it.
Well,
And I think
Nfro's
Nfro
off
is
with
off.
the...
No, never mind. He just practiced again, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going though. Now we're live.
Yep, here we go. Both of them starting. And Nfro starting off.
Looking solid. Mike having trouble climbing at first, but he's off now.
A bit wide.
I wanna say Nfro's ahead here. If he gets that last one cleanly. Come on. Oh, I hope that was enough. Yeah, I think that should be it. I think he just took a check off Mike here.
26.32 PB.
He did. And that's a 1-1.
And 27.29! He beat Mike with one standard skipped.
There we go. Very nice. And Nfro PB'd, right? I think he PB'd, which is incredible.
Yes. Yeah, I saw the green flash on the free lap, meaning he actually set a free lap record.
That's really nice. So, yeah, as I said before, Mike was definitely the favorite here, but as you could see right now, Nfro did his homework and it paid off. And it's a 1-1. Yeah, it was very close, but that's kind of what you would expect on a 25-second track, isn't it? Oh, okay. Mike is not taking his pot bun. He said he's not bunning a pot, so let's see where this is leading. This is the first time we're going to see Mike actually use a counterpick. So let's see where he's going.
As far as being Bunta Classic.
Yeah, not surprising in my opinion. He basically bunned the 3 hardest tracks. He bunned GVG and FMR permanently. And now he's bunning the Bunta Classic. And yeah, I'm really curious what Mike is doing right now, because this is the first time this year where Mike actually has to counterpick.
Spice Mine Run.
Mm-hmm. Seems to be one of Mike's favorites. And he also played this last time. And is it going to be max upgrades? I think it's going to be max upgrades. He didn't use a force. So last time Mike played this, he got a 342 flat, which is really strong. Could have even gotten a 341 if he didn't mess up the last boost in that round. But let's see if he can. Yeah, no force. Let's see if he can do that again. Because I think Nfro is. I'm sorry, guys. Nfro is actually pretty solid on this track. So let's see if he can mount a challenge.
Change your mind.
So yeah, we can expect Ben Cardinaro's mirror here, obviously. Now at this point, I'm really just imagining in my head what would have happened if Nfro didn't die on Vengeance, and actually maybe even won track 1. What would we looking at? What would we be looking at right now? But I guess that's just hypothetical. And right now it's a 1-1. So let's see where this is going. Again, it has to be said here that Mike is definitely the favorite. So even if it stays at this one track that Nfro took, it would still be a mild success for him. Yeah, right now we're just waiting for Mikey to get ready.
It looks like he's almost ready. Countdown has been given. Now we're waiting on our players.
I gotta be frank here though. I think if Mike keeps it together and does a typical Mike run, I don't think Nfro stands a chance of taking this track. It would definitely need a medium to major mistake from Mike for Nfro to have a chance, in my opinion. But let's see. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not so sure. This is one of the tracks Mike is the most consistent of his consistency on.
Yeah, I tend to agree on that one. I don't think I've ever seen him actually crash on this track in tournaments. Let's see. I think Nfro's off and Mike is going as well. This track looks simple on the surface, but if you're really trying to push it it actually becomes pretty difficult.
Especially with boost management, because it's so easy to abuse the boost here.
Yeah, a lot of newer players, when they come onto this track, they tend to just keep boosting on and on because there's so many straights on this track. And that's kind of hurting in the long run, because you want to always try to maximize your boost length without actually underheating. And underheating meaning reaching basically zero heat on the bar you see filling up every time they boost. If that bar is completely empty, you're essentially just wasting time. Oh, and there's the first step for Nfro here.
That probably seals it right there.
Yeah, sadly that's probably the case. Oh, you're right, King Bean. You're right. He did. I remember that one. It's a 1:15 first lap, which is really, really fast. I think Mike just wants this 3:41 in tournament. The way he's scoring right here. Yeah, and if you pay close attention, you may notice both of these runners trying to avoid boosting on these three-way crossroads they just left. And that is because this part of the track is what we call fast terrain, which basically speeds you up as long as you're on it, which means you want to maximize the time you're on it without underheating. And that is why you see them trying to be on maximum heat before they approach this part. I think Mike is a little bit low on heat here. He might underheat slightly. But it's not gonna hurt him much. He's still on 3:41 pace at this point, if he keeps his
113.
Gotta give it to Nfro though. He got a 1:14 flat second lap, which is really strong. Almost on Mike's level here. And he dodges the big machine. Yeah, as you could see, this machine, if you're on really good pace, which Mike is on right now, it basically blocks the entire track. But if you tilt, you can kind of clip through the tread and make it safely.
Ouch!
Yeah, I think we can
Nfro
call it
crashed
here.
again.
That's probably Mike's at this point. No offense to Nfro, but I don't see Mike crashing twice in the end here.
No.
Yeah, he is. Probably. Let's see if Mike can get the 3:41 though.
He's looking on pace for it.
Yeah. Seems like a decent ending here. Yeah, he got the 3:41.
Oh yeah,
Well
he's
done,
got
Mike.
it. 341.65.
That's scary. That's really scary. Like, that's a tough time to get in tournament setting.
I think that's very close to the world record for this track too.
Yeah, it's about 1.5 seconds off. So,
Oh
yeah, really
man,
close.
that's really solid if that's the case.
Yeah, it definitely is an insane time. There's no other words for it. So that's a 2-1 for Mike. Still everything to play for though. So if you had to guess, what would you think is Nfro's plan now here? He already used one of his forces on the abyss skip, and it was quite successful.
My guess is he's probably going to use his other force because he's one of those players that, looking at the Twitch streams of previous matches, is like one of the few players who knows how to counter him because he was given advice in Mike's previous matches.
That's a good point. So, Nfro just taking like a 1 minute break, I think, to calm down his sneezing attack. Or whatever he had on the lap 3.
Wonder if that's why he crashed a bunch. And Emperor's back.
Possibly, yeah. Although, I don't think he has to feel too bad about this, because even without the crashes on lap 3, the crash on lap 1 already sealed it in the end.
Okay, Bang Mars again. I suspect he's going to force a skip.
Well, I would really like to see another skip in this match. Let's see what track Mike buns temporarily here. I would be guessing he's getting rid of Inferno again, because that's what he's done so far every single time. And that's clearly because he doesn't feel comfortable on the Inferno skip. There's essentially no other explanation for that. Wait, his game crashed before the exact time? Well, in that case, we just assume the highest possible last
digit.
Last digit, yeah. Mike checking his upgrades here. I've seen Mike do this plenty of times by now. He's always making sure he's on exactly the right upgrades. I'm not sure why he's on Abyss right now.
Not so sure either.
Maybe he just wants to do Abyss again. Like I suspected, though, Mike getting rid of Inferno again. Top one was masked by Nfro. So let's see where Nfro decides to take us. Oh yes, I like that one. So
Long
Nfro,
Gaza Speedway.
yeah, taking us to the shortest shortest full track in the game. If you discount skips, this is the shortest track in the game. Will be over in a little more than 40 seconds if the runners don't make a mistake. This is one of those tracks where if you happen to crash, you basically lost at this level. Because it is very unlikely. Yeah, no forces, so max upgrades. It is very unlikely to see crashes here generally, so you better stay clean.
Yeah, all it takes is a slight bonk and you lose this track.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think King Bean is correct. Nfro is pretty strong here. Let's hope he can deliver.
Back, huh?
And I mean, by all means, Mike is also strong on this track. But it's probably comparatively one of his weaker tracks, even though he's still good on it. I'd say he's definitely beatable. So let's see what happens. Actually, King Bean Dip, for the first track, Nfro had the choice between Bunta Training and Vengeance. And he chose Vengeance in that case. But I mean, you could tell he was actually pretty quick on Vengeance. Until his crash, he was ahead of Mikey on that track. But then again, you just can't afford to crash versus Mikey if you want to take tracks of him. You can see Nfro going for a warm-up run here. Looking really solid. Oh. Yeah, if that was the real match, that would have sealed it probably. And Mike again checking his upgrades. Really wanting to make sure he's on the exact right setup here, especially considering the traction. Traction is one of those things that is like, you can downgrade your traction to basically fine-tune your handling, which is a really common practice. And sometimes you also see people downgrading their brakes so they can cancel their boost with brakes without losing a lot of momentum for it.
Countdown has been given.
So, want to play a little guessing game?
Honestly, I have no idea. It's gonna come down to who bonks or slips first here.
Or who uses more of his heat? I'm guessing 41.
I feel like Mikey's probably gonna win it, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm guessing 41 for both here, and it's going to come down to the 10s. At least that's how I would like to see it. Maybe even a 40 for both, which would be really cool to see. But yeah, we'll find out very soon. Again, don't blink, guys. You might miss the whole track.
Hey, Beaufort looks like they're going now. Goes off.
Clean start by Nfro. Same for Mikey. Oh, Nfro losing that last boost. That might actually cost him.
Mike holds it.
Yeah, and there's a crash. That's probably it.
Up, there goes the crash for Nfro. Ouch.
I don't blame him though. He had to go risky after losing that boost. He had to try to keep his heat up. So
1285.
Yeah, he knows it's over at this point. And a 40 for Mike.
That's plain over.
40.9.
40.9.
Strong time. Not quite tournament record, but pretty strong.
You're like 10 seconds off, almost exact.
Ooh. And we see some, how would you call it? It's a very, I would say, a very impulsive reaction here from Nfro. He's immediately saying, I'm gonna run it back. I'm guessing you're okay with that. Let's see if that pays off. And Mike is okay with it, so we're gonna see the same thing once again. Mongasa one more time. Yeah, he didn't even hesitate with that. He immediately said, I want to run it back. Which basically means he has to be confident to be able to beat that 40.9. And yeah, we're gonna see Mongasa speedrun once again. Maybe this time we get 240s. Would be great to see. So the runners got their counter. It should be off soon. Well, if this is gonna be a 30.90, then I'm gonna be very surprised. I can tell you that. Answering to chat here, and they're off. Very.
Okay, let's see how this rematch goes.
Whoa, Nfro, calm down.
Just going full hog with a vengeance.
Yeah, and he saved it there, almost steered into the wall. Oh, he lost that boost. That might cost him. Oh yeah, I think if Mike stays clean, Nfro can't take this. Because he didn't use enough heat. Yeah.
41.
losing that boost really cost him. That's about half a second you lose there, and that's basically the margin here.
And Mikey went faster than he did in this last one.
He did. And they already finished their banning. So, Nfro banned Bullseye, Mikey banned Inferno again. And Nfro is using his remaining force for Bumpy's Breaker. So we're going to see Bumpy's Breaker skip the first time ever in a tournament.
This is also the oldest skip in the game because this actually predates Mike and I's entry in 2008.
I think it was found in
2005 by Woodard Jansen.
2005, yeah. And
I will note that Bullseye is probably the most easiest to use for this skip.
Definitely. At least on 24 FPS, which I assume both of them will run. So I think that Mike really doesn't like this skip, but we will see. Also, another thing to note for this one, this skip has no backup. No reliable backup. If you fail the skip, you are very likely to flat out lose 45 seconds. So, failing this skip in a tournament setting, while your opponent gets it 3 times, basically seals the deal already. Which is probably why Nfro chose to take them. It's a really, really high pressure skip in this setting, because as I said, if you fail this, you are 90% likely to lose 45 seconds. There is a backup for it, but it's very unreliable and not consistent at all. So what do you think will be the pot choice here? Do you think they go for Ben?
I'm guessing Nfro might.
Well, his PB
Is with Ben.
is with Ben, yeah. I don't even know what Mike's PB is on the skip, if he did this in recent time. But we will be finding that out very soon, I think. I know that on Cyberscore he has a PB of 3 minutes flat, which I think was done with Bullseye, actually, back in the day. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not so sure, but I know back in the day we only used Bullseye for this one.
Yeah, I tried to see what Mike's PB on this save file is for Bumpy. If he even attempted the skip already, 4 PB attempts. It is one of the biggest skips in this game in terms of how much track it cuts out and how much time it saves. As I said earlier, if you fail it, you lose about 45 seconds because you have to go all the way around to the hairpins. And Mike making sure again he has the right upgrades. The one he's most comfortable on. And we see a 254 PB for him with Ben here. So it seems he is at least kind of prepared. But again, as I said, if you fail this, then there's no turning back. You cannot afford to slip up here.
Neither player can at this point.
Yeah, it's match point for Mikey here. But then again, as I said earlier as well, even if Nfro goes down 5-1 here, he can still take some pride in having taken a track off Mikey here. I'd really like to see him taking another one, though. Not gonna lie. But we will find out if we can very soon. Can you see Nfro going for a test run here? Using the backing up method. And he gets it.
Yeah, that's the safest way to pull out the skip, but it's also the slowest.
Yeah, precisely.
This is the main reason why Bullseye was used for the longest of time for the skip, because you could just, because he was really good at just stopping and accelerating and turning for this skip.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely much more difficult with Ben.
It's also a skip that works more ideally at 24 frames per second because you fall slower.
Yeah, exactly. And we're off. So let's see. This is tense.
Let's see what happens.
Will they both pull it off the first time? And we can see Mikey not going. He's also going for the backup method. Both making it. Both of them making it. Mike was slightly faster though. But you could see they were basically identical in their method of doing the skip. And Mike crashed.
Both crash!
And Nfro as well. So this is still a neck and neck. Also, first crash of the tournament for Mikey here. Believe it or not. And there we see the notorious hairpin. Both take them rather cleanly. Mike has a 3-second lead at this point, I'd say. But there's still the skip to be done 2 times. So 102 and 106, more like a 4-second lead. Yeah. Let's see if they can do it again. Mike backing up again. Being really careful here, and he made it. So Mike's 2 out of 2. Same for Nfro. This one was much closer for Mike though, he almost slipped off.
Oh, and Nfro crashes into the valve gate.
You hate to see it. Yeah, at this point, he needs Mikey to mess up the skip. Realistically. Or at least, he needs Mikey to take really long for this next skip.
$59. Whoa.
So let's see Mikey approaching the 3rd skip here. Let's see if he can do it again. If he does it again, it's basically over.
Taking it a little safer.
And he does.
Pulls it off very cleanly.
Let's see if Nfro can match though. He can. So good effort from both of them here. Getting 3 out of 3 on the skips. But at this point Mike is too far ahead for Nfro to catch up realistically.
And Nfro crashes on the shortcut, sealing even more.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unfortunate, but like I said before, Nfro doesn't have to be ashamed here.
See.
And Mike
did sub 3 with a death.
Solid.
Yeah. Time of 3 minutes or less with this skip is really solid.
Definitely. For a tournament setting, that's really good. But yeah, GG's. Very well played by both of them, really. And we saw Nfro making a point that if he's on a good day, he can take a track or even multiple tracks of one of the favorites. So be careful, King B. So we're gonna get them in for an interview, see what they have to say. Hello, Nfro and GG.
Well, the strategy was all there. I just kind of flubbed execution all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, we could tell that you could challenge him on multiple of these tracks. And you took one track of it, which is a first time for this tournament, so at least you have that.
And now I go face... I go from facing the runner-up to facing the winner from last year in about 5 hours.
Yeah. I would love to watch that, but I don't think I will be able to. And hello, Mikey, and GG to you as well.
Hey, Mike.
Thanks. Oh yeah, how you doing?
Yeah.
That was great to watch, honestly.
That was a fun one to play.
Yeah, that was a pretty exciting match. So yeah, a lot of skips and things. Yeah, that definitely definitely an interesting match.
Can you tell I planned for this one?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I need to ask, how tense is it to have to do the bumpy breaker skip in a tournament setting?
Actually,
How does it feel?
The skip itself didn't feel that stressful for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know
How about
Mike.
you, Mike?
I'll be honest, it definitely was a little bit stressful, yeah. But I think it's a bit like Nfro said, you know, just be as prepared as you can be and just do your... It was
like,
an interesting... I enjoyed playing that, and yeah, I kind of expected some of the picks as well a little bit, so that helped me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well done on taking a race or so off me. And
yeah. I could have there were 3 of those that if I'd come close to matching PB, I would have won it.
yeah, I think, didn't you die at Vengeance as well?
Vengeance, I died lap 2 and had a bonk. If I hadn't, I was on PB pace and probably would have been a mid 306.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That
up
would have been super
until
close.
your first crash on Vengeance, you were actually slightly ahead. But yeah, that was really fun to watch. And
the other
personally,
the other one was MGS that I just choked.
yeah, the first run definitely, and the second run, you lost that boost, and that basically cost you.
Yeah, I was super sloppy on that last one. Oh well.
Yeah, sorry
maybe
about...
it was a little less stressful with the bumpy's breaker script because you took the slower and safer way of braking and backing up for it.
That's
yeah,
what I've
both
been
of you
practicing.
actually.
Yeah.
Oh, did we-
I feel like you can't do the other one here unless you practice that into the ground.
All right, did we do it the same way? Did we?
Yeah,
Stop
you
and
did.
back up.
You
Yeah.
did.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it's if your goal is consistency.
Yeah, it just felt a bit... I agree with Nfro, it just felt a bit risky kind of trying to go forwards through that one.
My logic behind going bumpies instead of I was basically torn between bumpies and boot to training for the last pick. It was I've been less consistent on boot to training lately, and if I could bait someone into going for the faster approach on bumpies and I take the consistent one, I've got a good shot at making all 3 while they miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. What was your plan with Bunter training? Was it to do skips or just...
No upgrades.
Oh, no upgrades, right, okay.
Yeah, I'm really curious if we're gonna see the Bunta training skip in this tournament. That would be quite a sight.
I can say I don't plan to pick it anytime soon.
Well, that's good to know.
Oh, I don't care if that's public. People have seen me practicing that. It's a shit show.
It's certainly deceptively difficult.
Yeah, it is. Alright. Well, I've got stuff I need to do before my next match.
But yeah, thanks for the great match, guys. It was really fun to watch and commentate.
GG's, Mike.
Yeah, GG's Nfro. Thanks.
Both of you two, good luck.
Thanks.
See you again.
Yeah, for everyone still watching, if you want more pod racing, then you don't have to wait very long, because the next match is going to be in 1 hour exactly from now on this exact channel, and it's going to be Belios versus Nectarn. And after that, we even have a third match today, as you heard earlier. It's going to be Nfro, who you just saw, versus King Bean Dip, the second seed of this tournament, at 8 PM EDT, and that match is going to be on the SpeedGaming main channel. So if you want more pod racing, today is your lucky day. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully see you later. Also, thanks to Draco for commentating with me. It was a pleasure.
Oh, it was such a privilege to do it when you're such a legend in this game.
Oh, that's nice of you to say. But yeah, goodbye, and catch you all later.
Good luck, may the force be with you.